Chapter 41 Meeting with the senior class of Huifeng Bank at the VIP table in Happy Valley. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My son is much better than me. Xiangjiang is proud of his son. Yang Ming finished breakfast, bask in the sun in the yard and garden. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning. Yang Ming took Azu and Zhong Chu home with him, and drove away from the Repulse Bay mid-level villa under the escort of Chen Zhenhua and others. It's not too far to go to Happy Valley from here. It took about 30 minutes to arrive. Today is Saturday's race day, in addition to Wednesday nights. It is also held during the day on Saturdays and Sundays. Many Xiangjiang citizens and tourists can't wait and come early. Those who bought tickets in advance or purchased tickets have already entered. There are also many people who cannot buy tickets or are reluctant to spend money to buy tickets, but use them to place bets. There are also many people outside the Happy Valley Arena. The luxury car in which Yang Ming and others were sitting arrived at a nearby parking lot. Chen Zhenhua took down Yang Ming's folding wheelchair. Yang Ming got into the wheelchair. Azu and Zhong Chuhong pushed aside. Chen Zhenhua and others followed behind, looking around cautiously. Arriving outside the racecourse, Yang Ming soon saw someone waving to him. Mr. Yang. The person waving to him was Kira, who was wearing a skirt and fashionable sunglasses. Kayla didn't expect that so many people came from Yang Ming. Mr. Yang, Mr. Shen is waiting for you inside. Yang Ming and the others got tickets to Happy Valley and went inside. He didn't go to the auditorium outside. There are also separate VIP seats inside the racecourse. The VIP seats at Happy Valley Racecourse not only protect you from wind, rain and sun, but also prevent you from being followed and photographed by reporters. The most important thing is that watching the game quietly in the VIP seats is much more comfortable than having so many people crowded together outside. While Azu and Zhong Chuhong looked outside curiously, Yang Ming had actually been here many times in his previous life, but he was not interested in the so-called VIP seats in his previous life. Now go through a long corridor, came to a room number marked A1. In this VIP room, two white people were chatting and laughing in English, except for Mr. Xia, who is now the CEO of the Hong Kong Jockey Club. There is also a white-haired man who is Shenbai. He thought Yang Ming would not come so soon. There was a knock on the door. Someone came and opened the door. Kayla went in and said, "Chairman, Mr. Yang is here." Yang Ming is here. When Shen came out to greet him, he soon saw a young man sitting in a wheelchair. This young man was wearing a pair of sunglasses and sitting in a wheelchair. Shenbai was really surprised at first. "Mr. Yang, nice to meet you." "Hello, Mr. Shen." Yang Ming and Shenbai shook hands with each other. When Zhu and Zhong Chuhong pushed Yang Ming in, Chen Zhenhua and other bodyguards stayed outside the door waiting. When Yang Ming entered, he found that the VIP seats were really different from the ordinary seats outside. Even the ordinary seats outside are actually classified into different levels, like members of the Hong Kong Jockey Club. They have separate seats separated from the seats of other general spectators. Those seats for Jockey Club members should be more comfortable to sit in, with fewer people and more seats. Here at the VIP seats, Yang Ming found that this place was similar to the luxury suites in those star hotels. Maybe everything except a bed, food and drink are all available. From the seats inside, you can see clearly through the window the entire racecourse, 360 degrees. Mr. Yang, this is Mr. Xia, the CEO of the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Mr. Yang, hello. Mr. Xia, the CEO of the Hong Kong Jockey Club, was a little surprised when he first saw Yang Ming. Last night, Shenbai called and asked to meet Yang Ming here, which proved that Yang Ming's identity was not simple. What surprised the other party even more was that besides being young, Yang Ming was actually in a wheelchair. At this point, Mr. Xia dared not underestimate the other party. "Hello, Mr. Xia." Yang Ming and Mr. Xia also shook hands and got to know each other. Yang Ming knows that now all walks of life in Hong Kong, even the management of the Xiangjiang Jockey Club, are basically monopolized by these white elites. Yang Ming knew that Hong Kong was like that before the 1970s. It was not until the 1980s that the white elite in Hong Kong gradually withdrew from all walks of life in Hong Kong, and the status of the Chinese in Hong Kong became higher and higher. "Mr. Yang, do you usually like to watch horse racing?" Mr. Xia asked. "I look at it occasionally, but I can't say I like it very much. However, I have to thank the Hong Kong Jockey Club for letting me make a profit at the Hong Kong Jockey Club 2 weeks ago. Is there such a thing? At that time, Yang Ming won the grand prize, which was nearly 1,800 million. After paying taxes, he still had 50 million Hong Kong dollars. This news also shocked Xiangjiang. Because Yang Ming did not want to show his face or be interviewed, few people knew that Yang Ming had won the grand prize. At this time, Mr. Xia and Shenbai were both surprised. Unexpectedly, Yang Ming actually won a large sum of money from the Xiangjiang Jockey Club. Mr. Yang, you are so lucky. Mr. Xia smiled. Yang Ming knew this wasn't luck, but he wouldn't say it. Yang Ming, Mr. Xia, and Shenbai were chatting there. Kayla, Azu, and Zhong Chuhong looked on. The waiter here brought coffee to Yang Ming and the others. It was about 10 minutes before the first horse race of the day. It was already very lively outside, except for the sight of knights and horses appearing on the racecourse, showing the spectators their best form and guiding them to place bets. Yang Ming and others here can naturally see it clearly. Even Azu and Zhong Chuhong, who saw the horse racing with their own eyes for the first time, could not suppress their excitement. Mr. Yang, I wonder if you can guess the result of today's horse racing? Mr. Xia asked with a smile. This has something to do with luck. Being able to guess correctly once does not mean that you can guess correctly the second time. Yang Ming knew that since he had drained all the bonuses from the reward pool, which had quickly accumulated to millions of Hong Kong dollars, he was no longer interested. He didn't want to show it in front of Mr. Xia and Shenbai, even though Yang Ming saw the relevant newspapers last night and already knew the results of today's horse racing. Mr. Yang, why don't we have some fun? Shenbai said with a smile. He felt that it must not be that simple for Yang Ming to make such a huge profit in the global stock market. As for how Yang Ming did it, Shen Yi was also very interested. Yang Ming said, Mr. Shen, how do you want to play? Let's see who guesses the ranking of the first horse race. How can people like them not feel itchy when watching horse racing without placing bets? What's the jackpot? This is my Rolex. Shenbai took the Rolex he was wearing and placed it on the table. It looks like it should be worth hundreds of thousands of Hong Kong dollars. Mr. Xia also smiled and said, since Mr. Yang was able to make a large sum of money at the Jockey Club half a month ago, why don't I follow suit and see who can guess the first ranking? Mr. Xia also took out a Vacheron Constantine watch he was wearing, which seemed to be worth hundreds of thousands of Hong Kong dollars. Yang Ming himself did not wear a watch. Instead, he took out a Huifeng Bank check from his body. Then I'll bet you this. On the Huifeng Bank check, Yang Ming directly wrote 200,000 Hong Kong dollars. Please read it. Please read it. Please read it. Whether you can advance to the next round depends on today. Thank you book friends for your support. Chapter 42. The two bosses saw how powerful Yang Ming was. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Shenbai and Mr. Xia saw Yang Ming filling out the Huifeng Bank check for 200,000 Hong Kong dollars, they saw that Mr. Yang was a very good person. These two people knew that the famous watch they were wearing, even if it was new, was not worth 200,000 Hong Kong dollars. Mr. Shen, Mr. Yang, let's do this. Let's make a rule. In the first horse racing competition, among the 13 horse racing contestants, if the first 4 contestants all guess correctly, whoever wins. If none of the 3 of us guess correctly, we will follow the rules. Whoever guesses more rankings wins. No problem, Miss Kayla will be our notary. Shenbai said. Mr. Shen, Mr. Xia, I have no problem either. Azu and Zhong Chuhong on the side were really shocked, especially Zhong Chuhong, who comes from a lower-class Xiangjiang citizen like her, and can't even earn 2,000 Hong Kong dollars after a month's hard work. I never expected that Mr. Yang would spend 200,000 Hong Kong dollars now, which is probably the savings of many ordinary people in Hong Kong after 10 years of not eating or drinking. Even if she had done it in a jewelry store, she couldn't tell how much Shenbai's and Mr. Xia's watches were worth, so they probably weren't cheap. Yang Ming, Shenbai, and Mr. Xia each placed a written ranking number on the table. This is how the 3 men predicted the outcome of the first horse race. Kayla looked on and was surprised to see Yang Ming and the others. Yang Ming is now the boss of Empire Group, with a wealth of several billion Hong Kong dollars, possibly more. Mr. Xia is currently the executive president of the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Shen Bai, chairman of Huifeng Bank, is currently Taipan. Whether it is Mr. Xia or Shen Bai, they are both respectable people in Xiangjiang. Now Yang Ming is still very low-key. If outsiders knew that he, the boss of the imperial group, was worth billions, they probably wouldn't think that way. Master, the horse racing is about to begin. Azu on the side almost screamed with excitement when she saw the first horse racing officially started today. Yang Ming nodded, and like Shen Bai and Mr. Xia, he picked up the telescope next to him and looked out. With the telescope, you can see everything outside. The atmosphere of watching a horse race live is completely different from watching it live on TV or listening to it on the radio. Looking out at the scene, in addition to seeing 13 horses running directly out under the guidance of the night, tens of thousands of spectators and tourists were shouting wildly in the auditorium. The first game lasted just over 2 minutes and ended soon. The big screen on the racecourse showed the results of today's first horse race. 4, 12, 7, 9, 5, 6, 1, 13, 8, 10, 3, 11, 2. In other words, in today's first horse racing competition, horse number 4 named Fire Phoenix won first place. The horse race named Dafa Dewang on the 12th ranked second. Horse number 7 named Must Win was ranked third. Horse number 2 named Fire came last. If Yang was asked to memorize the numbers of these horse racing horses, he might not be able to memorize them quickly. He could memorize the names of these horse racing horses just by looking at them once. The names of the knights in the Xiangjiang competition are normal, either English or Chinese, but the names of the horses they ride have all kinds of weird names. The first game is now over. The time difference between these horse racing is very small, and the ranking order has already been announced. Shen Yi and Mr. Xia both looked at the paper they had just written on. Before the game, they all rely on guessing, and they don't study the status of the jockeys and horses like those crazy gamblers. Mr. Yang, how's it going? Did you guess it right? Let Miss Kira open it and take a look, then we'll find out. Yang Ming smiled, when Miss Kayla brought the paper written by the 3 people and opened it. First, open Shen Bai's. This is what Mr. Shen, the chairman, guessed. When Yang Ming and Mr. Xia looked over, they found that Shen Bai only guessed that the 4th place was horse number 9, and all other rankings were wrong. When it was Mr. Xia's turn, Kayla said, "This is Mr. Xia's guess." Yang Ming and Shen Bai looked over. They found that Mr. Xia guessed both the 2nd and 3rd places correctly. I have to say that Mr. Xia really knows how to watch horse racing. Mr. Xia said very modestly, "I also rely on guessing." Yang Ming was left in the end. Yang Ming already knew that the first 4 rankings were all correct, but he scribbled down the rest. When Kira opened it, Kira was really surprised when she saw the rankings on it. She always felt that Yang Ming was different from others, but where exactly? She doesn't know. Now when she saw that Yang Ming had easily guessed the ranking of today's horse racing competition, how could Kira not be surprised? Miss Kayla, how is Mr. Yang? Chairman, Mr. Xia, look. That when the 2 of them saw the ranking of the results of the first horse racing race written by Yang Ming, they were also very surprised after reading it. Especially Shen Bai was shocked again. Needless to say, Yang Ming definitely won. Mr. Yang, you are so awesome. You won, but we are convinced that we lost. Shen Bai said in admiration. Mr. Shen, Mr. Xia, I just rely on luck. Luck. If luck were just once, that would make sense. If it's luck every time, in Shen Bai's opinion, it's impossible. Since Mr. Yang won, our watch will be lost to Mr. Yang. Instead of being unhappy, Shen Yi and Mr. Xia looked very happy. Both of them understood why Yang Ming was able to win more than 10 million Hong Kong dollars from the Hong Kong Jockey Club half a month ago. What surprised Mr. Xia the most was that although Yang Ming could guess the result of today's horse racing, Yang Ming did not place a bet. It was obvious that Yang Ming did not value the millions in prize money. Mr. Shen, Mr. Xia, then I'm welcome. Yang Ming put away his check and placed the 2 gleaming Rolex and Vacheron Constantine on the table. When he was going back, he would give it to Ah Zhu and Zhong Chuhong. Yang Ming didn't pay much attention. From Kira's point of view, Yang Ming had plenty of money and didn't take those two luxury watches seriously, so that was normal. However, after all, these two famous watches were won from two big guys in Xiangjiang. Please read it. Chapter 43 Recommended to join the Hong Kong Jockey Club. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Ming, Kayla, Shenbai, and Mr. Xia looked out the window. Like this horse race, won half an hour later, the second game started again. Watching the game, you will definitely be hungry if you haven't had lunch yet. Hong Kong Happy Valley competition provides drinks, catering and other services. There are even 5-star hotels nearby. Yang Ming, Kayla, Shenbai, and Mr. Xia were drinking coffee at the VIP table. During this period, we also tasted the desserts brought by the waitress. From the second horse race on, Yang Ming, Mr. Xia, and Shenbai stopped guessing the results. They just watched and occasionally chatted. There are 8 races in total. At around 1700 hours in the afternoon, today's horse racing officially ended. As the host, Shenbai invited Yang Ming and Mr. Xia to have dinner together. Like the Hong Kong Jockey Club, it provides food, including Western and Chinese food. Come to the luxurious Western restaurant of Hong Kong Jockey Club. Yang Ming, Shenbai, Kayla, and Mr. Xia sat aside. Azu and Zhong Chuhong were waiting outside, when the waiter brought over rich Western food. There were also 2 bottles of Bordeaux red wine. Although it is not a famous wine like Lafite, it should not be bad. Cheers! Yang Ming, Kayla, Shenbai, and Mr. Xia picked up their wine glasses and drank half a glass each. Yang Ming is sitting in a wheelchair and does not eat like other normal people. However, now he can hold a knife and fork by himself, but he eats more slowly. In Kira's view, Yang Ming seemed very gentle and polite, like a Western gentleman. From the perspective of Shenbai and Mr. Xia, Yang Ming was trained in aristocratic etiquette. Before this, Yang Ming and the Yang family were not well known. Shen Yi knew very well that now Yang Ming not only owned his own empire group, but also had billions of Hong Kong dollars in Huifeng Bank. If Yang Ming is not the richest person in Hong Kong, he is definitely one of the top rich people in Hong Kong. Mr. Yang, I wonder if you are interested in joining our Xiangjiang Jockey Club. It can be said that the Hong Kong Jockey Club is one of the most prestigious clubs in Hong Kong. Jockey Club membership is highly respected, and all members who apply for membership must be recommended by selected members. The Jockey Club has a total of 200 selected members, and there is a limit on the number of recommended members each year. Before this, the members of the Jockey Club in Hong Kong were basically all white people. Later, some Hong Kong wealthy people who developed as compradors also joined. With the rise of Chinese capital, more Hong Kong Chinese wealthy or influential Chinese have joined the Hong Kong Jockey Club. However, no matter who wants to join the Hong Kong Jockey Club, they must be recommended by a formal member. Mr. Xia is now the CEO of the Hong Kong Jockey Club, and he can directly recommend new members to join. Shen Yan is also the vice president of the Hong Kong Jockey Club and one of the club's 12 directors. He can also recommend Yang Ming to join the Jockey Club. Jockey Club? Isn't it just a clubhouse for the upper class in Hong Kong? Even then, there are only a few thousand members of the Hong Kong Jockey Club now, and there are already more than 4 million people in Hong Kong. It is conceivable that those who can join the Hong Kong Jockey Club have a lot of status. In his previous life, Yang Ming knew that the Xiangjiang Jockey Club had grown to 20,000 to 30,000 members. At that time, the population of Xiangjiang soared to more than 7 million. At that time, someone also recommended Yang Ming, but Yang Ming did not join in the end. Unexpectedly, Mr. Xia now personally recommended him to join the Hong Kong Jockey Club. If Yang Ming refuses, of course he is a fool. In any case, joining the Hong Kong Jockey Club is an important means of integrating into the upper class of Hong Kong. Even people like Kira may not have the chance to join yet. Mr. Xia, do you mean to become a formal member of the Jockey Club? Yes, for young talents like Mr. Yang, we very much hope that you will join and become one of us. Mr. Xia said. Yang Ming guessed that this might be what Shenbai meant. It may also be a means for these white people to manage Hong Kong and win over the Chinese elite in Hong Kong. Thank you Mr. Xia for the invitation. I am willing to join the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Mr. Yang, since you agree, it's no problem. Become a member and I will do it for you personally. Mr. Xia left first. Yang Ming, Kayla and Shenbai are left here. Kira doesn't seem like a middle-of-the-road person, she is an ordinary manager of Huifeng Bank. Because she is familiar with Yang Ming, Shenbai first got to know Yang Ming through her. Yang Ming didn't say anything, he knew that Shenbai's purpose in inviting him was not simple. Chairman, the steak here is really good. Kayla may have felt that the atmosphere was a little awkward, so she said. Mr. Shen, the steak here is really good. Eat more. Because these Western food are different from Chinese food, each person has his own portion, and there is no need for everyone to share the food, which makes people feel much cleaner. Yang Ming knew that it was convenient for him to eat with a knife and fork there. Mr. Xia left on purpose just now. He originally wanted Yang Ming and Shenbai to talk business alone. But now that Shenbai didn't take the initiative to say it, it seemed to Shenbai that Yang Ming didn't guess why the other party invited him. This Western meal is indeed very rich. During this period, Yang Ming, Shenbai and Kayla drank 2 more glasses of red wine. Mr. Yang, I'm very happy to meet you today. Shenbai said. Mr. Shen, me too. Shenbai didn't talk formally, and Yang Ming wasn't in a hurry. Anyway, now it is Shenbai who wants something from him, not him who wants something from Shenbai. Yang Ming had already set his sights on the 90 million shares of Hutchison International held by Huifeng Bank, but Yang Ming was very confident that Shenbai would be willing to hand it over when the time came. The time came to 17:45 in the afternoon. Mr. Xia, who had been out for a while, came over again. Mr. Yang, congratulations, you are now an official member of our Xiangjiang Jockey Club. Just now, in addition to giving Yang Ming and Shenbai time to talk, Mr. Xia personally went to have Yang Ming join the Xiangjiang Jockey Club. Yang Ming is just an ordinary jockey club member. In Mr. Xia's opinion, with Yang Ming's identity, wealth and status, it will not be difficult to become a director of the Hong Kong Jockey Club in the future. As for Yang Ming's membership fee and monthly membership fee, Shenbai had already told Mr. Xia before coming that he would pay for it. Thank you Mr. Xia and Mr. Shen for the recommendation. Yang Ming said. When dinner is over, Yang Ming knew that today's first meeting with Shenbai was over. Neither of them talked about business. Mr. Xia and Shenbai even gave him a watch and invited Yang Ming to join the Hong Kong Jockey Club and become an official Jockey Club member. At this point, he has become closer to Yang Ming. When Yang Ming was about to leave, he exchanged home landline numbers with each other. Mr. Kayla and Mr. Xia, Shenbai said, followed. Please read it. Chapter 44 Target, 9 Hutchison International Shares. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even if Kira did not join the Imperial Group, because of Yang Ming's relationship, she was appreciated by Shenbai, the chairman of Huifeng Bank. If she stayed at Huifeng Bank, she would definitely be promoted step by step. Seeing Kira behind her, Yang Ming said, Miss Kayla, come with me to the car and have a chat. Mr. Yang, my car is still over there. Just let my bodyguard drive it. Let Chen Zhenhua call a bodyguard to drive Kayla's MG sedan. Kayla got into Yang Ming's Rolls-Royce. This Rolls-Royce car originally had 5 seats, except for the driver Chen Zhenhua. When they arrived, Azu and Zhong Chuhong were also sitting next to Yang Ming. Kayla wanted to talk to Yang Ming, so Azu and Zhong Chuhong also sat in another BMW. In the car, Yang Ming indicated that he could go back to the Repulse Bay mid-level villa. Along the way, Yang Ming looked out the window and didn't say anything at first. Chen Zhenhua was just driving seriously. Kira looked at Yang Ming curiously. Miss Kira, I didn't give you a gift just now, this is for you. Yang Ming took out the Huifeng Bank check for 200,000 Hong Kong dollars. Kayla was surprised. She didn't expect that Yang Ming would actually give her the check. This 200,000 Hong Kong dollars is quite a lot. HKD 200,000 is definitely not enough for luxury homes like those mid-level villas in Hong Kong. 200,000 Hong Kong dollars is certainly enough for ordinary small commercial houses. This actually moved Kira a little. Mr. Yang, thank you for your kindness. I haven't done anything to help you. This time you join the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Mr. Shen has already paid the entrance fee and this year's annual fee for you. Yang Ming naturally knew that to join the Xiangjiang Jockey Club, you would definitely have to pay membership fees and annual fees. If Yang Ming didn't come out just now, it must be Mr. Xia or Shenbai. Shenbai asked Yang Ming for help, so he went out for Yang Ming. nowadays, the membership fee of the Hong Kong Jockey Club is actually not low. It requires tens of thousands of Hong Kong dollars in membership fees, and there are tens of thousands of Hong Kong dollars in annual fees. I am afraid that many people did not expect that Shen Bai, the god of wealth in Xiangjiang, would actually pay these expenses for Yang Ming. I think it was Mr. Shen who wanted to ask me for something. But, he never said it just now. Mr. Yang, I don't know about that. Yang Ming smiled when he saw Kayla still accepting the check. Nothing was said. When he came to a street, he asked Chen Zhenhua to stop the car. When Kayla got out of the car and Kayla got into her MG sedan and left, Yang Ming took the car back to the Repulse Bay Mid-Levels Villa. Returned to Repulse Bay Mid-Levels Villa. It's still early, it was already dinner time. After Yang Ming, Mr. Xia and Shenbai had eaten just now, he was not hungry. Zhu, Zhong Chuhong, and Chen Zhenhua were hungry. Yang Ming asked them to eat first. He himself was pushed upstairs in a wheelchair by his mother. Peter, did you and Mr. Shen watch horse racing all day? Li Yufang asked curiously. Mommy, today's horse racing ended at 5 o'clock. Later, I had dinner with Mr. Xia, Mr. Shen, and Miss Kayla at the Jockey Club. Mr. Xia and Mr. Shen personally recommended me to join the Hong Kong Jockey Club. They also recommended Yang Ming to join the Hong Kong Jockey Club. This time, Li Yufang felt that her son was really amazing. In Li Yufang's view, those who can join the Hong Kong Jockey Club are all respectable people and represent the upper-class elite in Hong Kong. Both Li Yufang and Yang Jirong could see that since their son woke up from a vegetative state, he seemed to be a different person, except that his wealth was getting more and more. Now its status and influence in Xiangjiang are gradually growing. Peter, you are so proud of Mommy and Daddy. Mommy, it's because Mr. Shen wants something from me. Your business is serious. Mommy's ability is limited and she can't help you. Li Yufang is really more and more proud of her son. When Li Yufang left, Yang Ming stayed here in the study and looked out the window. Yang Ming knew very well that when Shenbai met him for the first time, he did not talk to him about business, which meant that they would continue to meet in the future. However, Yang Ming's goal is very clear, that is to obtain the shares of Hutchison International from Shenzhen and Huifeng Bank, basically. As long as he gets the 90 million Hutchison International shares of Huifeng Bank, he will definitely be able to swallow up Hutchison Whampoa. I'm afraid that by that time, there will naturally be nothing more to do with Li Jiaqing. As for why Yang Ming asked Jason's subordinates of the Imperial Group to quietly buy Hutchison International stocks, that was his second-hand preparation. If Shenbai was killed and unwilling to sell those stocks to him, then he would also have a way to acquire more stocks from other people to swallow up Hutchison International. By then, it won't be Li Jiaqing's turn. Even if Li Jiaqing gets those stocks from Huifeng Bank, the other party cannot be the largest shareholder. He still has ways to get Li Jiaqing to leave Hutchison Whampoa. Yang Ming was looking out the window. Azu and Zhong Chuhong recalled going out with the young master today, except excitement. Now that I have been hungry for most of the day, I came back here and cooked dinner in the kitchen. The two women and Chen Zhenhua's bodyguards filled their stomachs. When Zhong Chuhong and Zhu came up, Yang Ming looked at the two women and asked, "Are you full?" "Master, I'm full." Azu said. "Do you like the watch?" Yang Ming took out the two watches and asked. "Master, I like the watch, but I think it was given by Mr. Shen and I can't accept it." Azu thought. Zhong Chuhong is like that too. This is not only a valuable watch, but also a watch that the two big men lost to Yang Ming. How can I, an ordinary maid, deserve such a watch? Yang Ming said, "It's just two watches. Do your job well for me." What does this mean? Yang Ming knew that Shenbai was a person who loved watches. From what Yang Ming knew about Shenbai in his previous life, he really didn't know how many famous watches he had collected from others during his tenure. It is precisely because of this that people like Shani naturally have their weaknesses. As long as you understand the opponent and understand the opponent's weaknesses, Yang Ming believes that it will not be difficult to win over the opponent. After Yang Ming asked the two women to take the watch back, when the two women discovered that Yang Ming really didn't take it seriously, the two women were different and were speechless with excitement. It's around 8 o'clock in the evening. Zhu served Yang Ming to take a bath. Yang Ming took a bath there, washed off the dead skin on his body, and rinsed it again. I changed into a set of casual clothes and came to the wheelchair. Master, do you want to read the newspaper? Azu and Zhong Chuhong went to get today's newspapers. Yang Ming has already sorted out the stock information for next Monday. Yang Ming didn't need to look any further. Victoria Peak Villa, Shenjia, chairman of Huifeng Bank. Shen Yi is in Xiangjiang and now has two residences. One is the villa located on Victoria Peak. In the early 1970s, Shen Bai had a high position in Huifeng Bank, so he could naturally afford to live in a villa on the peak. In addition, since he became the chairman of Huifeng Bank, there is a large rooftop villa on the top of the Huifeng Bank building. This is where Shen Bai usually gets off work too late and lives directly at the headquarters of Huifeng Bank. In the building, Kayla took Yang Ming's check for 200,000 Hong Kong dollars. She did not plan to use it herself, but drove to the Peak Villa to meet Shen Bai. Shen Bai also just came back. Shen Bai was a little surprised when he saw Kira. In fact, few people can come to his villa. Like other Hong Kong wealthy people, they always meet him on the golf course or other places. Please read it. Chapter 45 Layer by Layer Layout. Take it step by step. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Kayla parked the car and got out of the car, she has already seen Shen Yi and his wife. Now Shen and his wife live here with their family, housekeeper, and maid. Victoria Peak Villa. It has always been a traditional villa area in Xiangjiang. Before that, it was basically a place where white elites and the rich and powerful lived. When Yang Ming asked his parents to buy a villa, the location on Victoria Peak was still excellent. Standing here, you can have a beautiful view of the entire central district of Hong Kong and Victoria Harbour. In the past, Victoria Peak was the leader of Hong Kong and had excellent feng shui. After these years, many feng shui masters in Hong Kong do not recommend buying villas in the area around Victoria Peak. When Kira came here, she was shocked when she saw the scenery of Victoria Peak and Victoria Harbour in the distance, especially when night fell. It is indeed the Pearl of the Orient. It's so beautiful. Kayla, come in. Shen Bai called Kayla over. A servant brought her a glass of water. Chairman, I have something to tell you. Go ahead. There are people he trusts here, so there is no need to go to the study. Mr. Yang asked me to pass this on to you. Kayla pulled out the check. It was the Huifeng Bank check for 200,000 Hong Kong dollars. Shen Bai thought he had seen it wrong. This is... Mr. Yang learned that you paid the Hong Kong Jockey Club membership fee and annual fee for him, so he asked me to transfer it to you. Upon hearing this, Shen Bai realized that if that was the case, it would make sense. Then why didn't it be given to him directly at that time, but asked Kira to transfer it to him? Speaking of which, he paid the membership fee and annual fee for Yang Ming because he wanted something from Yang Ming, who would have thought that if Yang Ming gave him so much extra money now, it might not be considered a favor. From this look, he felt that Yang Ming, a young man, was very good at life. This 200,000 Hong Kong dollars was neither more nor less in 1978, for those with money, that's it. For the average person, that's a lot of money. Even for Kayla, that's almost 2 years of her salary. Kayla, how long have you and Mr. Yang known each other? Chairman, Mr. Yang and I met on January 1st, and we have known each other for less than half a month. Less than half a month? Shen Bai felt that he was also a very good judge of people. He was shocked when he saw that Yang Ming was not only a young man, but also in a wheelchair. In addition, because Yang Ming was wearing those sunglasses, he could not see Yang Ming's eyes clearly. What kind of person do you think Mr. Yang is? Chairman, I don't know much about what kind of person Mr. Yang is, and I can't tell. I think Mr. Yang is not only very powerful, but also very mysterious. Mystery was Kira's first impression of Yang Ming. She really couldn't see through Yang Ming at all. Shen Yi nodded. Go on and tell me what you know about him. I first met him because he opened an account at Huifeng Bank, and then directly opened an account for the Xiangjiang stock market there. He made more than 1,500 million Hong Kong dollars in daily profits on the Xiangjiang stock market for a week in a row, and the rate of return was more than 85%. And this is not what surprised me the most. What surprised me most was that on January 1st, Mr. Yang first made another profit of more than 16 million Hong Kong dollars in Hong Kong, and entered the London stock market through leverage, making a profit. 400 million Hong Kong dollars were then leveraged into the US stock market. where he gained more than 1 billion Hong Kong dollars overnight. Overnight, more than 1 billion Hong Kong dollars were obtained. What is this concept? Even now Huifeng Bank is such a huge investment group. The net profit in a year is less than 10 billion Hong Kong dollars. In other words, Yang Ming's profit of more than 1 billion in the London and US stocks that night really shocked her. After hearing this, Shen Yi sat there in disbelief. The money earned in one night is equivalent to Huifeng Bank's 2 years' profit. What is the concept? Shen Bai didn't even know what to say. Then, Mr. Yang established the Imperial Group by himself. I personally recommended the first batch of employees of his company. On every trading day the day after tomorrow, although the profit was not as much as that night, the profit in the global stock market was not the same. Phew. Imperial Group. Shen Bai was shocked again. This young man really surprised him. He just heard that Yang Ming was very good at short-term investment in the stock market. Who would have thought that Yang Ming's power was completely beyond his imagination? This young man, he really remembered it. The more that happened, the more interested he became. How could he not be interested in someone who could earn the equivalent of 2 years of Huifeng Bank's net profit in one night? I'm afraid there are no such powerful investment masters in Hong Kong or in the world. Then do you think Mr. Yang is easy to get along with? Fortunately, I don't feel like other rich second-generation people in him. Then how come he's in a wheelchair? I heard from Mr. Yang that when he returned to Hong Kong from London 3 years ago, he was in a car accident and became a vegetative state. He only woke up some time ago. However, Mr. Yang has not been able to walk properly yet, so he can only use a wheelchair. Car accident. Vegetable. Shen Bai was shocked again. The two chatted there for another half hour. The night has come to around 10 o'clock in the evening. At this time, looking towards the central district of Hong Kong and Victoria Harbour, the night view of Hong Kong becomes even more beautiful. Chairman, it's very late. I want to go back and rest first. Okay, go back and rest early. Remember to keep in touch with Mr. Yang. He is very important to us at Huifeng Bank. Yes, Chairman. Kayla stood up. The housekeeper personally escorted Kayla out. When Kayla got into her MG and drove away, Shen Bai glanced at the check and looked at the beautiful night view of Victoria Harbour in the distance. He didn't know what he was thinking about at this time. Kayla returns to her apartment. I originally wanted to call Yang Ming back, thinking that Yang Ming should have rested. He picked up the handset of the landline phone and put it down again. Kayla is a smart person. Even if she has not joined the Imperial Group now, in the future, even if she is already a senior executive of Huifeng Bank, she will still join the Imperial Group. What she is doing now is not just for the present. Recall the beautiful night view of Victoria Harbour. I don't know when I will be able to afford a villa on the peak of Victoria Peak, where I can see the beautiful night view outside anytime and anywhere, have a night's rest. Early the next day, Yang Ming just got up early. He was sunbathing in the yard outside the villa. Azu came over and said, "Master, it's Miss Kayla calling." Zaiazu pushed Yang Ming to the landline on the first floor and picked up the phone to answer the call. Soon, she learned over the phone that Kayla actually gave the check of 200,000 Hong Kong dollars that Yang Ming gave her to Shen Bai in the name of Yang Ming. In Yang Ming's view, Kira didn't need to do that at all. Now Kayla called, not talking about this matter, but what Shen Bai and Kayla asked Yang Ming last night. After Yang Ming finished listening, he was silent for a while. Please read it. Chapter 46, A Sneak Attack on Mr. Li in 9th Longcang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Ming knew that he wanted to swallow up Wharf and Hutchison Whampoa. Not surprisingly, there are only two opponents, one is Li Jiaqing, one is Bao Yugang. However, Yang Ming has not seen them yet. In any case, Yang Ming knew that as long as he had strong funds, he could directly crush them in a capital market like Xiangjiang, whether Bao Yugang or Li Jiaqing. Their biggest advantage is that they are familiar with Huifeng Bank and Shen Bai. They want to swallow up Wharf or Hutchison Whampoa, but without the help of Shen Bai, it is impossible for them. Even if they join forces, Yang Ming was not worried either. After hanging up the phone with Kayla, Yang Ming was ready to have a good rest for the day. On Monday, Yang Ming got up early as usual. After having breakfast with his parents, Yang Ming took a car to the Empire Group in the Federal Building. When Yang Ming arrived at the door of the company in a wheelchair, now everyone in the company is basically at work. Yang Ming called Lin Xiuji, the 15 employees, to his chairman's office and held a brief meeting. After everyone got the stock information of major regions around the world that they were responsible for, they went back. Jason, ask your 5 subordinates to come over again. Soon, Jason's 5 subordinates came over. 2 days last week, Yang Ming and Imperial Group respectively took 4% of Wharf's shares and 1% of Hutchison International's shares. This week, whether it's Wharf or Hutchison International stocks, try to get them as much as possible. Yes, boss. Yang Ming talked to them for a while. These people started going back to work. 9:30 am, the Hong Kong stock market officially opened. The 5 traders began to buy large quantities of Wharf and Hutchison International stocks through hundreds of different accounts in the company. Among them, Wharf stock, from 14 Hong Kong dollars per share last week, has now started to rise to 15 Hong Kong dollars per share as soon as the market opened. On the Imperial Group side, no matter what, as long as it is sold on the market, it is basically absorbed. Judging from the current Wharf stock market transactions, there are many buys and sells. It is obvious that it is not only the Imperial Group who buys Wharf stocks, but also other people. As for who? Now they don't know. Yang Ming didn't care about that. He just sat in the chairman's office, wait until 12 o'clock in the morning. The Hong Kong stock market ended trading in the morning. At the end of the morning, Empire Group bought about 16 million more shares at an average price of 100 Hong Kong dollars per share. Bought 11 million shares of Hutchison International at an average price of 120 yuan per share. Although Hutchison International has 9,000 shares in the hands of Huifeng Bank, Hutchison International has more than million shares after all. The large and small investments are relatively dispersed and there are more shares in circulation. It is relatively easy for Imperial Group to buy Hutchison International's shares now. After hearing the reports of the 5 people, Yang Ming just nodded and said nothing. Finished working lunch at noon, continue in the office in the afternoon. Because many things are now delegated to those 15 people, Yang Ming feels much more relaxed. 13:00 in the afternoon, the Hong Kong stock market continues to open for trading. The 5 traders of Imperial Group continue to buy Wharf and Hutchison International shares frantically. Among them, Wharf stock price seems to be rising again. In the morning, it was still about 16 yuan per share, and in the afternoon, it had risen to 18 yuan per share. Yang Ming guessed that in the current market, although there may be sensitive investors who smell the changes in Wharf. Yang Ming guessed that the person who was competing for stocks with the Imperial Group was probably Li Jiaqing. Historically, through different channels, Li Jiaqing bought Wharf stocks from more than 10 yuan per share to more than 30 yuan per share. A total of 1,500 million shares of Wharf were purchased before and after, accounting for almost 18% of the shares. Later, it was reported in the market, and Wharf stock price began to soar. Li Jiaqing himself did not have that much money to buy more Wharf stocks, and was eventually forced to stop. According to current expectations, Li Jiaqing's purchase of Wharf stocks should not be very large. Now that Yang Ming and the other party are rushing to buy Wharf stocks, it is even more impossible for Li Jiaqing to buy more. To say that Li Jiaqing is a very shrewd person is because he knows how to use other people's money to do his own business. However, when he wants to use more funds to acquire other companies, in fact, he does not have more funds available now. At this point, Yang Ming knew that Bao Yugang had more funds at his disposal than Li Jiaqing. Because Bao Yugang has long been the world's shipping king, Bao Yugang has always wanted to sell the big ship in his hand by abandoning the ship and landing, so as to obtain funds and invest on land. Now Yang Ming guessed that Bao Yugang might not have taken a liking to Wharf yet. In the afternoon, Empire Group once again bought 80 Wharf shares, and the average price was already 18 yuan per share. Hutchison International bought 120 million shares, and the average price was still around 11 yuan per share. Calculating this, I bought another 180 million shares of Wharf shares and 240 million shares of Hutchison International shares today. Even then, that would be 523 million Wharf shares, accounting for 6.1% of all Wharf shares. At this point, there are still very few. As for Hutchison International, including the 240 million shares bought today, it already owns more than 640 million shares. Compared with Hutchison International's 4 million shares, it occupies 1.6% of the stock. Yang Ming knew that he didn't have to worry about Hutchison International for the time being. Basically, as long as he takes about 10% of Hutchison International's shares, he can have a showdown with Shenbai, golf course near Repulse Bay, a middle-aged man wearing a white sportswear, about 50 years old, with a particularly high hairline and a pair of glasses. At this time, he was playing golf with a wealthy businessman. It's late January now, compared with the beginning of the month. The weather in Xiangjiang is much warmer during the day. With the sun shining, the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, which is perfect for golfing. When the middle-aged man stopped, a secretary next to him carefully took his glasses and golf clubs and wiped his sweat with a handkerchief. Exercise, exercise. Of course it feels good when you sweat. Mr. Li, someone is looking for you. Who? Mr. Zhou. The other party was talking about Zhou Qianzhao, Li Jiaqing's right-hand man. Since he only had a landline phone now, he hurried over after learning from Mrs. Li Jiaqing that Li Jiaqing was playing golf with the businessman at the Repulse Bay golf course. Boss. We'll talk over there. Who is one of the people Li Jiaqing trusts most now? Of course it was the diligent and loyal Zhou Qianzhao in front of him. Since the 1950s, fellow countryman Zhou Qianzhao has been working with Li Jiaqing until now. Later, Zhou Qianzhao's son Zhou Mao even joined Li Jiaqing's company and became Li Jiaqing's right-hand assistant. Old Zhou, why are you here? Boss, there has been a change in Wharf. Today Wharf stock price has soared to 18 yuan per share, and even almost reached 20 yuan per share. I suspect that there are other people absorbing Wharf shares. Please read it. Chapter 47 Mr. Li's Confidants and His Wife. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the 1950s, Li Jiaqing had just started his own business. In his eagerness for development, he kept taking orders and shipping goods, while neglecting the quality of the products, which led to a quality crisis. Banks and raw material dealers blocked him every day to demand payment. In order to reduce the burden on the factory, Li Jiaqing had to lay off workers who were underemployed. Among the dismissed employees, there was one named Zhou Qianzhao, who was a fellow villager of Li Jiaqing and one of the original founders of the factory. Zhou Qianzhao never imagined that the layoffs would fall on him. He was among the people laid off. But employees who had no connection with Li Jiaqing were left behind. Zhou Qianzhao couldn't figure it out, so he found Li Jiaqing. Li Jiaqing said to Zhou Qianzhao, "The factory cannot produce normally because there are too many returns. Let the employees who have the most difficult life stay first. When the situation improves, I will let you come back to work immediately. I hope you can understand." Zhou Qianzhao said, "Boss, I also live on my salary." "I don't have a salary, what can my family eat and drink?" Li Jiaqing said to him, "Don't worry, if I have food to eat, you will have food to eat. Can I let your whole family starve?" Therefore, during the days when Zhou Qianzhao was laid off, Li Jiaqing often bought grain and vegetables and delivered them to his home. This moved Zhou Qianzhao very much. He felt ashamed of his behavior. After returning to the factory, he began to do his best to serve Li Jiaqing. Since then, Zhou Qianzhao has become Li Jiaqing's loyal confidant and right-hand man. Li Jiaqing would leave many important things to Zhou Qianzhao. In early January this year, Li Jiaqing received important business intelligence. As long as he bought more than 1% of Wharf shares, he could challenge land as the major shareholder. Li Jiaqing didn't have much money at his disposal, so he quietly arranged for his most trusted confidant, veteran Zhou Qianzhao, to take charge of this matter. Starting from the beginning of January, Zhou Qianzhao was using Li Jiaqing's funds to quietly build a position to buy Wharf stocks. In the beginning, Wharf stocks were relatively stable. For fear of being noticed by other investors in the market, he did not dare to buy too much at once. After more than half a month, I have bought about 3 million shares of stock. Starting last week, he noticed that Wharf's shares began to rise. According to Zhou Qianzhao's experience, he should not be the only one secretly absorbing Wharf stocks, but there should be others. As for who the others are, he doesn't know yet. After today, he didn't expect that Wharf stock had soared to 11.8 yuan per share compared with the original price of 18 yuan per share. The stock price had risen a lot, which meant that more funds had to be used. The higher the stock price, the less Wharf stocks Li Jiaqing can buy with his funds. Even today, the stocks he bought are not enough to reach 900 shares, and he has already spent million Hong Kong dollars. After finishing at the Xiangjiang stock market, he immediately drove to Li Jiaqing to discuss the matter. "Qianzhao, are you saying that the Wharf stock price has risen sharply now? Mr. Li, it's like that. It has risen a lot now. I'm afraid that by tomorrow the stock price will have doubled compared to the beginning of the month. Zhou Qianzhao personally reported the matter to Li Jiaqing to see how Li Jiaqing would handle it. According to the original plan, they use different channels to buy quietly, and the market should not react so quickly. Then buying 20% of the stocks at that time will be within the range of funds that Li Jiaqing can use. If Wharf stock price rises to 30 Hong Kong dollars or 40 per share, Li Jiaqing thinks it will be unprofitable. Now, although Li Jiaqing wants to swallow up Wharf, for Li Jiaqing and Changchun Industrial Group, it is undoubtedly a snake swallowing the elephant. Changchun Industrial strength is not too bad, but it requires real money to acquire Wharf stocks. According to the Wharf stock price of 11 Hong Kong dollars per share, if you buy 1,700% of the shares, that is 18,700 million shares, the total capital is million Hong Kong dollars. If Wharf stock price doubles again, it will be 22 yuan per share. To buy 1,700 million shares, it will cost 37,400 million Hong Kong dollars. At this time, Li Jiaqing may still use this fund. If Wharf's shares were doubled to 33 yuan per share, it would cost 56,100 Hong Kong dollars million. At this time, he simply didn't have that much money to buy Wharf stocks, unless borrowing money from Huifeng Bank and Shenbai. However, he knew that that was simply impossible, because one move could affect the whole body. At that time, it will not only be Li Jiaqing who wants to eat Wharf, but also Bao Yugang, and even Jardine land will also protect Wharf. It is impossible for Li Jiaqing to eat Wharf. Li Jiaqing didn't expect that his plan would be seen through. There are still people like him who have been secretly absorbing Wharf stocks. This time, few people knew about his plan. Apart from him and Zhou Qianzhao, not many people knew about it at all. Naturally, including his friend Bao Yugang and even Shenbai of Huifeng Bank, they don't know. Qianzhao, you mean there is someone like us? Could it be Mr. Bao? Boss, it's possible. However, I'm not sure. Continue to accumulate Wharf shares as planned. No matter what, we are now halfway through and the plan cannot stop. Even if you can't take 20% of Wharf shares by then, if you can get 10% of the shares and sell them at a high price, you can still make a profit by then. Zhou Qianzhao wrote it down. When Zhou Qianzhao left, Li Jiaqing seemed to be fine again. After saying goodbye to the wealthy businessman, he asked the driver to drive back to the mountainside villa in Deepwater Bay. Along the way, Li Jiaqing was thinking, who is secretly absorbing Wharf stocks? The opponent he is most worried about is not Jardine land, but his old friend Bao Yugang. Sir, you're back. Li Jiaqing goes in. A middle-aged woman came out. This lady is Zhuang Yueming, Li Jiaqing's wife. She is also his cousin. The two have been married for many years. Zhuang Yueming rarely appears in Li Jiaqing's companies, but he plays a very important role in Li Jiaqing's business development. Zhuang Yueming planned many business plans behind the scenes. In her early life, Zhuang Mingyue not only handled the trivial matters at home in an orderly manner, but also in the business world. Zhuang Mingyue helped Li Jiaqing, who was weak in English at the time, act as a translator. It was Shenbai, the last manager of HSBC Bank, who was introduced to Li Jiaqing by Zhuang Yueming. For Li Jiaqing, no matter whether he started his business, he received strong support from his natal family. Zhuang Yueming's father, Mr. Zhuang, and his wife slowly supported him behind the scenes, so he was able to be where he is today. Now after Li Jiaqing came back, he changed out of his suit and gave it to Zhuang Yueming, and casually talked about the acquisition of Wharf stocks. Sir, I am afraid that your experience in business is not comparable to that of my father, and I cannot provide you with any more advice or help. With her husband and the company now at their current level, Zhuang Yueming knew very well that it would be really difficult for him to interfere in the business anymore. However, Zhuang Yueming knew very well that there was another person who should be of great help to her husband. That is Shenbai. If Li Jiaqing can get the support of the Xiangjiang god of wealth and the current Huifeng Bank chief executive Shenbai, it is not impossible for Li Jiaqing to swallow up Wharf. Please read it. Chapter 48. 9 Longcang stock price soared crazily. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 1978 1 month 27 day, Friday. Yang Ming had just returned from the Imperial Group to the Repulse Bay mid-level villa after get-off work. When Yang Ming got off the car, housekeeper Lin Dezhong helped Yang Ming get into the wheelchair and said, boss, Miss Kayla is here. Kira. Yang Ming came to the garden in a wheelchair. Soon, Kira was seen. Kira wore a fashionable red dress, her long blonde hair blowing in the wind. She has been here for half an hour. Mr. Yang, are you off work? I just came back. What time did you arrive? Half an hour ago. Yang Ming and Kayla left here and took the elevator to the study on the third floor. In the study room on the third floor, Kayla said, Mr. Yang, I came to see you. There are two reasons. One of them is that the chairman, Mr. Shen, asked me to have more contact with you to get more familiar with you. Kayla told Yang Ming about this last Sunday. However, it is impossible for Kira to come to see Yang Ming every day. There is another reason. Actually, I also want to come and meet you. See me? Yes, I found that it's quite comfortable to get along with you. Yang Ming smiled. In his previous life, Yang Ming was a diamond king. Before I was in my 40s, I had girlfriends all over the world, but I didn't have a formal wife, so naturally I didn't get married, let alone have children of my own. Looking at Kira's appearance now, I thought Kira was in love with him. Yang Ming knew that this was not the case. Now Kayla is the middle contact between Yang Ming, Huifeng Bank, and even Shenbai. For Shenyi and Huifeng Bank, Yang Ming and Imperial Group are not only important customers, they even seek help from Yang Ming. On the contrary, Yang Ming now has only one goal, which is to get Hutchison International's shares from Huifeng Bank and swallow up Hutchison Whampoa. Mr. Shen is not asking me to go somewhere again, is he? That's not true. This week, more funds from the Imperial Group came in and out through Huifeng Bank. It was impossible for Shenbai not to be itchy. In that case, Yang Ming was not in a hurry. At this time, it was already dinner time. Yang Ming and Kayla went to have dinner together first. After dinner, Yang Ming and Kayla chatted in the yard for half an hour. Kayla had completed the task of Chairman Shenbai and left first. Looking at Kira leaving, Yang Ming went upstairs by himself. This week, the Imperial Group continued to obtain a steady stream of wealth funds through short-term investments around the world. What Yang Ming is most concerned about is actually the stocks of Wharf and Hutchison International, for days from Tuesday to Friday. Jason's 5 subordinates have been quietly buying shares in Wharf and Hutchison International. Now some people in the market are beginning to feel that something is wrong with Wharf stocks. However, there is no news that Jiulongcang intends to acquire Wharf. Wharf stock soared from 22 yuan per share on Tuesday, to 25 yuan per share on Wednesday, to 28 yuan per share on Thursday, and to 30 yuan per share on Friday. Compared with the beginning of the month, Wharf's share price has tripled. Even then, Imperial bought 170 million shares on Tuesday, 180 million shares on Wednesday, 180 million shares on Thursday and 210 million shares on Friday, including Monday and last week. Empire Group has now bought 1,263 million shares, equivalent to occupying 14.85% of Wharf's shares. In other words, it has nearly 15% of the shares, which has already exceeded the 10% of the shares of Jardine Matheson Land, the largest shareholder of Wharf. As for how many stocks Jiulongcang has bought now, Yang Ming speculated based on the reaction in the stock market that it should be about 5%. If that's the case, it would certainly be far behind compared to Yang Ming. Yang Ming sat in his wheelchair and looked out the window. He knew that now he was very sure to eat Wharf. After all, the biggest difference between him and Jiulongcang is, Jiulongcang became famous very early and is now a billionaire in Xiangjiang. However, he does not have much funds at his disposal. Even if hundreds of millions are spent now, it is not that Jiulongcang cannot do it, but it may affect other business operations. After consideration, with Jiulongcang's cautious attitude and style, it is impossible to invest so crazy. Yang Ming is different. Now he has huge funds. For more than half a month, he has been sucking blood and cutting leaks in the global stock market, and has earned billions of Hong Kong dollars. This is a huge amount of wealth, enough for him to do many things. Master, do you want to take a bath? Azu's voice came from behind. Yang Ming likes to think about things after taking a bath, which will make his mind clearer. When Yang Ming went to the bathtub to take a bath and replace the dead skin on his body, he felt that his skin was much fairer, like a new life. This is because long-term coma in bed and lack of exercise lead to body muscle atrophy. Even if the parents pay for massage, muscle atrophy still occurs. Over the past half-month, I have gradually recovered a lot. I'm afraid it's still a bit difficult to walk normally like a normal person. Yang Ming finished taking a shower and got dressed. Zaizu pushed Yang Ming back to the study. Zhong Chuhong comes over. She has become accustomed to the duties of a home secretary, taking records for Yang Ming. When Azu and Zhong Chuhong put the newspapers there, Yang Ming looked at Zhong Chuhong and asked, "It has been 2 weeks since you came here. Do you miss your family? Do you miss your family?" Zhong Chuhong really thought about it at first, but slowly, she found that everyone in the Yang family villa was very easy to get along with, there was no intrigue as she imagined, and she didn't miss her family so deeply. There was good food, drink and good housing here. Housekeeper Lin de Zhong even paid her this month's salary in advance and had someone take it to her parents, which naturally relieved a lot of burden on the Zhong family. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, you are allowed to go home and see your family. Like the maids in Xiangjiang, they are basically Filipino maids. Many of these Filipino maids only have holidays on important holidays. At other times, if their employers do not exploit the labor force, that is already considered very good. When Zhong Chuhong heard this, he was very happy at first, but soon thought, "Boss, I am doing well here, and I don't want to go back yet." Forget it, the spring festival is coming soon. When the spring festival arrives, I will give you a holiday. Zhong Chuhong was recording there, until about 11 o'clock in the evening. Yang Ming yawned. Li Yufang has delivered nutritious soup at the door. "Pete, are you done? Let's have some soup first." "Mommy, I just finished my work and am ready to rest." Li Yufang watched Yang Ming finish the bowl of soup and asked Azu and Zhong Chuhong to take the bowl and leave. Li Yufang said, "Zhong Chuhong is a pretty good kid. Although he comes from a poor family, he seems to be able to help you a lot." "Mommy, her parents are engaged in small business and are not considered poor." "That's true. However, she is better than an ordinary maid. It seems that she has to ask the housekeeper to raise her salary." At first, Yang Ming approached Zhong Chuhong, but Li Yufang was still not satisfied. Now, more than half a month later, Li Yufang feels more and more good about Zhong Chuhong. Please read it. Chapter 49. It is rumored that Mr. Li wants to swallow up Jiulongcang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Yang Ming gave himself 2 days off, it's Monday, Yang Ming got up early as usual, had breakfast with his parents at the Repulse Bay Villa, and then took a car to the Empire Group in the Federal Building. Chen Zhenhua pushed Yang Ming up to the 29th floor, and Yang Ming went directly back to the chairman's office. There in the office, still the same as last week. Hunter and the others got Yang Ming's stock information and returned to their office area to prepare to enter the Asian stock market. At this time, Yang Ming was sitting in a wheelchair looking out the window. "Boss, your coffee." Lin Xiaoji brought over a cup of brewed coffee. Yang Ming took a sip. The morning passed like that. At this time, the Hong Kong stock market was very busy. This is not because Imperial Group entered the Hong Kong stock market, but because the Wharf stock market has soared since last week. When the stock market ended last Friday, the Wharf stock price had soared to 30 yuan per share. This is Wharf's record-breaking stock price over the years since its listing. The Hong Kong stock market has just opened this morning, and Wharf stock price continues to soar. It started from 30 yuan per share and soared to 35 yuan per share. Wharf stock price has experienced an unusual surge, and investors, large and small, have poured in as if they smelled something fishy. Investors who owned Wharf stocks became less willing to sell their shares. Investors who had not yet bought Wharf shares began to rush to buy them at high prices. These investors are all high-chasing investors, so much so that by the end of the morning, Wharf was extremely hyped. Now Imperial Group has been buying Wharf stocks. However, it is no longer possible to buy if you have money, because many investors do not intend to sell. Come down in one morning, I bought less than 50 shares of Wharf stock at an average price of 33 yuan per share and spent about 1,600 Hong Kong dollars million. This has more than tripled the share price of Wharf. Yang Ming did not pay attention at any time. He had predicted the surge in Wharf stock price last week, finished lunch at noon. In the afternoon, the Hong Kong stock market had just opened, and Wharf stock price soared again. The stock price soared from 35 yuan per share to 40 yuan per share. This is a very crazy thing. In history, Li Jiaqing secretly used different channels to get people to buy Wharf shares. It was only in March that Wharf's share price soared to more than 40 yuan per share. It was only late January. What this means is that with the intervention of Imperial Group, Wharf's stock price has changed 2 months faster than before. Hong Kong, Queen's Road Central, Xiangjiang Industrial Group Building, Office of the Chairman, Li Jiaqing is dealing with some things. There was a knock on the door. The person who came in was none other than his confidant Zhou Qianzhao. Last Friday, Zhou Qianzhao saw the changes in Wharf stock price, and he guessed that Wharf stock price would definitely soar rapidly this week. What he didn't expect was that not only did it exceed 40 yuan per share in the afternoon, but it soon soared to 45 yuan per share. At this time, the Li family still had funds to buy Wharf stocks, but it was definitely not much. Li Jiaqing is just looking for money. If the stock price is too high, it means that there will not be much profit by then. Mr. Li. Old Zhou, what's the matter? Li Jiaqing asked. Mr. Li, the share price of Wharf has soared from 30 yuan per share on Friday to 45 yuan per share. It is obvious that we don't know who is driving up the price of Wharf stock, which has caused more investors to pursue the high price and enter the share price of Wharf. Warehouse. 0.45 yuan per share. So how many Wharf shares do we have now? Almost 430 million shares bought. 0.430 million shares, which is about 5% of all Wharf shares. What's the average price? At the beginning, we basically bought it at about 11 yuan. Later, when it surged to more than 20 yuan per share, we didn't buy that much. Now calculated, the average price is about 15 yuan per share. The average price is 15 yuan per share, which is based on the current Wharf stock price of 45 yuan. If you sell it, it will be almost 30 yuan per share, 430 million shares, and you can earn million Hong Kong dollars. This is considered a good return. Historically, Li Jiaqing bought about 18% of the stocks. However, when he traded privately with Bao Yugang, he only made about HK$ million. As for why? That's because he knew that he was not strong enough to win the Wharf, so he set his sights on Hutchison International. It was precisely because of the exchange with Bao Yugang and Shenbai's support that Li Jiaqing swallowed Hutchison Whampoa, the second largest foreign company in Hong Kong, and instantly transformed the Li family into the sky. Li Jiaqing didn't think about that now. He was thinking last week that besides letting Zhou Qianzhao quietly buy Wharf shares, would it be the Bao family who was competing with him for Wharf shares now? In his opinion, his biggest competitor should be the Bao family. If it was really the Bao family, I was afraid that I would have no choice but to give up. Mr. Li, do you want to continue buying? Zhou Qianzhao asked. Li Jiaqing shook his head and said with a shrewd look, Old Zhou, there is no need. We don't know who the secret buyer is. It's not easy to figure out. The most important thing is that we don't have that much funds. Last week, his wife Yang Ming reminded him that he could seek help from Huifeng Bank and Shenbai. Li Jiaqing knows it very well. A favor is a favor. Shenbai would definitely not help him easily. What's more, if Shenbai helped him once, he wouldn't help him a second time. He did not rush to seek help from Shenbai. That's a pity. Mr. Li, if we sell it now, we can make more than 100 million. Qianzhao, this is a windfall, not a pity. Let's take a look. If Wharf stock price continues to soar tomorrow, we will sell them all tomorrow. Sell them all? Zhou Qianzhao asked. Li Jiaqing nodded. At 1600 hours in the afternoon, the Xiangjiang stock market closed. The current excitement of the Hong Kong stock market, especially the soaring share price of Wharf, has attracted many investors in Hong Kong. This makes many investors think that the bull market in Xiangjiang will not come, right? Soon, someone spread the news that Li Jiaqing of Changchun Industrial Group was interested in acquiring Wharf. This news was spread by major media in Hong Kong and immediately caused a sensation in the entire investment market. Many investors thought Li Jiaqing had the strength to eat up Wharf. Victoria Peak Villa, Keswick family. This is the villa of Henry Keswick, the head of Jardine Matheson, the leader of the 4 major foreign banks in Hong Kong, the former chairman of the board of directors of Jardine Matheson, and the 4th-generation head of the Keswick family. Henry Keswick was about 40 years old. Scott, in addition to blonde hair, she has a somewhat rich figure. Basically, if he is not going to work at the Jardine House headquarters, he is back here at Victoria Peak Villa. today he happened not to go to work at Jardine House, but stayed at Victoria Peak Villa. Master, phone. The housekeeper of Henry's villa came over in a hurry. Hello, I'm Henry Keswick. Sir Keswick, I am Bijian. Now there are rumors in the market that a Chinese rich man, Li Jiaqing, chairman of Changchun Industrial Group, is interested in acquiring Wharf. The Keswick family is the majority shareholder of Jardine and is also the soul of Jardine. Bijian is now Jardine Land Taipan. Land is also the major shareholder of Wharf. Now Bijian is not only the Taipan of Jardine Matheson, but also the Taipan of Land and Wharf. Henry Keswick thought he heard wrongly. Li Jiaqing actually wanted to acquire Wharf? How can this be? How is that possible? Henry Keswick asked in disbelief. Sir Keswick, I couldn't believe it at first. Now the share price of Wharf has soared to 45 yuan per share. In the Hong Kong market, the media and newspapers have spread that Li Jiaqing wants to swallow up Wharf. Bao Fuda over there said. Come to the villa to see me immediately. Hang up the phone at Henry Keswick. Wandering around the living room. For example, Jardine Matheson is the first of the 4 major foreign banks in Hong Kong, with hundreds of subsidiaries. Among them, Land and Wharf are the most important subsidiaries of Jardine Matheson. If Jardine loses Wharf, it would be like a man losing an arm. In this case, how could he not be worried? Over the years, Henry Keswick never expected that the Chinese would rise so quickly. Jardine Matheson Land is the largest shareholder in Wharf, but it only holds 10% of the shares. In other words, he does not pay attention to other investors at all. I have always wanted to control Wharf with the minimum number of shares. Now when he heard that Li Jiaqing was going to swallow up Wharf, he started to worry. Please read it. Chapter 50 Jardine Land Taipan New Bijian's reaction. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Today's Hong Kong stock market has not yet ended, and there is widespread news in the market that Chinese tycoon Li Jiaqing wants to acquire Wharf, so much so that when Bijian drove from the company and passed a parking lot, he saw reports in this regard. When Bijian came to Victoria Peak Villa, Bijian saw Henry Keswick waiting for him. Bijian, what's going on? Henry Keswick asked. Sir Keswick, look. In Newburgh, I handed those newspapers to Henry Keswick. Henry Keswick took a look and was almost shocked. The front page now is a photo of Li Jiaqing wearing a suit and looking high-spirited, as well as information about Li Jiaqing, chairman of Changchun Industrial Group. Needless to say, there are now rumors in the market that Li Jiaqing intends to acquire Wharf. Now the share price of Wharf has soared to 45 yuan per share. As the major shareholder of Wharf, Jardine Land only holds % of the shares. I am afraid that Li Jiaqing is now the largest shareholder of Wharf. However, he has not yet officially announced to the media. Bijian said from the side. For Henry Keswick and Bijian, Wharf was too important to Jardine Matheson Land, and they could not afford to lose their controlling stake. Prior to this, Jardine Matheson Land only had 10% of Wharf shares and was already the largest shareholder. All other shares were held by retail investors and small investors. If they were targeted by other wealthy people, they would be targeted if they were not careful. Eat. How much capital can Jardine Land use? Tomorrow we will also compete with Li Jiaqing for Wharf stocks. I'm afraid I don't have enough funds. What should we do? Henry asked. We can only sell Jardine Matheson or Land subsidiaries in exchange for some funds to buy Wharf shares. Jardine and Land are both Xiangjiang Ocean Bank. They are big and their working capital cannot be used indiscriminately. This will definitely affect the development of Jardine's parent company and its subsidiaries. In order to maintain Wharf's holding position, it can only sell some subsidiaries that it considers unimportant. Which company shares are to be sold? Henry Keswick asked again. To Henry Keswick, the subsidiaries were like the palms and backs of his hands, and they were all flesh. He would definitely not sell them if he had no choice but to do so. Bijian thought for a while and said, Sir Keswick, many of our listed subsidiaries can sell some shares. Because Jardine Matheson Group has Jardine Matheson Securities Company, it can start selling some shares of listed stock markets through Jardine Matheson Securities Company, and then obtain as much funds as possible to buy Wharf stocks. Your suggestion is good, that's all. Henry Keswick knew that this was the only way to keep Wharf now, and then he would need to obtain more funds to buy Wharf stocks. Unable to use more liquidity, it was forced to sell some shares of its listed subsidiaries. Besides, Henry Keswick thought of a way, that is to let Xiangjiang, the senior manager of Huifeng Bank, act as a middleman and let Li Jiaqing voluntarily give up the acquisition of Wharf. However, no matter what, Henry Keswick knew that he must acquire as many Wharf shares as possible before he could have greater confidence. Deepwater Bay mid-level villa, Li family. Li Jiaqing just came back by car. After Yang Ming came over and took Li Jiaqing's briefcase and suit, the landline phone in the living room rang. Yang Ming went over and picked up the answer. "Sir, it's Qian Zhao calling." "Lao Zhou, what's the matter?" "Mr. Li, something big has happened. Now there are rumors in the outside market that you intend to acquire Wharf." Zhou Qianzhao also just found out. Now, due to the soaring share price of Wharf, there are rumors in the market that Li Jiaqing, chairman of Changchun Industrial Group, intends to acquire Wharf. Zhou Qianzhao knows this best. At first, Li Jiaqing might have had that idea. However, in the afternoon, they had stopped purchasing Wharf stocks, and the Li family did not have so much funds to use. Who spread the news? Li Jiaqing had that idea, and he knew it was impossible to do it. "I don't know, it's been spread in newspapers and magazines outside now." If it were just a few newspapers and periodicals, he could just call people to complain. Now many newspapers and periodicals in Hong Kong are reporting like this. Li Jiaqing could only smile bitterly. "Then there's nothing we can do." Li Jiaqing hung up the phone. Yang Ming asked, "Sir, how are you doing?" "Qian Zhao said that there are rumors outside that I want to acquire Wharf." Now Qian Zhao only buys about 5% of Wharf's shares. Wharf stock price is already very high. Our Li family has limited funds and has stopped buying in the afternoon. "Sir, who do you think is acquiring Wharf?" Yang Ming is very smart. Obviously, she guessed that someone in the market was indeed eyeing Wharf, but it was not her husband. Her husband didn't have much money right now. It should be Mr. Bao. Li Jiaqing could only think of Bao Yugang. In his opinion, among the wealthy Chinese in Hong Kong, only the other party has that ability. Yang Ming thought for a moment and said, "It could be Mr. Bao, or it could be someone else." "Forget it, Wharf is fishing in troubled waters now. In the stock market tomorrow, I ask Qian Zhao to sell all the stocks, and we can make a profit of more than 100 million. Yang Ming felt it was a pity. She also knows that the current strength of the Li family and Changchun Industrial Group is about this. Although it just swallowed up the US-owned Yonggao company last year, what can be done? Deepwater Bay, Baojia mid-level villa. Bao Yugang also just returned from the Prince's Building, the headquarters of Universal Group. When he just came back, his second son-in-law Wu Guangzhen came over and said, "Father, there are rumors that Li Jiaqing intends to acquire Wharf." Li Jiaqing wants to acquire Wharf? Bao Yugang was also a little surprised. Now Bao Yugang has felt that the global shipping industry is beginning to decline. As a global shipping king, Bao Yugang must avoid risks. After all, the risk at sea is too great, so the only option is to move to land. At this time, Bao Yugang had not really decided to abandon the boat and land, but he already had thoughts in this regard. If you sell those big ships and get funds, you will definitely invest in land. If Bao Yugang has such large sums of money, then what industry should he invest in? Now, when he heard Wu Guangzhen mentioning Wharf, he felt that it was right to acquire Wharf. Who would have thought that Li Jiaqing would take the lead? "I know Li Jiaqing, I'm afraid he doesn't have that strength," Bao Yugang said. Speaking of which, Bao Yugang is still much stronger than Li Jiaqing now. He is also a shareholder of Huifeng Bank, and his relationship with Shen Bai is more familiar than Li Jiaqing. "Father, if it's not Li Jiaqing, then who is it?" Now Wharf stock price has soared several times. "I can't guess, let's take a look first. However, we must not let Li Jiaqing eat the Wharf." "Father, what do you mean?" "If we abandon ship and land, Wharf is a very good place for us to stay. Please read it."